Hello there, this is Fabi from The Next Big Rush, and today I want to talk about one specific company, there's no coincidence that this is really the first of a series of videos. And the reason why I decided to talk about this company today as the first company that's being profiled is very simple. This company is promoted, not to its full extent, but it is promoted. And at times, you'll see that the price will run up because, you know what? Part of being good management is getting the word out about your company. And so I see that this company is sort of popping up. People are starting to take notice. And you can get in today with a huge discount to my price, to my entry price. So disclaimer, I'm very biased. I own shares in this company. I participated in the private placement, but you can get in at a much lower cost than what I did. So, you know, I'm trying to get you hooked up here to a very good deal. Okay, so let's get down to it. I'll give you a few tips about this company before I reveal what company it is and why I think if I had to make one single bet to what will be a 10-bagger within the next 2 to 3 years, I would put my money in this company. And I regret not putting more money in this company when I participated in the private placement. This has so many catalysts of different types that it's something would have to happen that would be very, very apocalyptic for this story to not seriously be reevaluated and the stock price to go up by multiples. So, enough of the hype. This is the truth. How did I find out about this company? First of all, it wasn't through promotion, so I want to make it very clear. I didn't just, see the company out there. I stumbled upon it, which makes it for a very interesting story because I look for private placements. After finding out that there's actually a little bit of a loophole in the private placement law, I found out that actually I did qualify unknowingly, and so I started to look for private placements. I follow this website called Canadian Financing Bulletin. Google it. It is amazing. It's a free service. You sign up, you receive everyday emails of companies in Canada that are raising. And so there is a section there for junior mining companies. And I saw Desert Star. And they're raising $14 million. And I'm like, this is a few months back, right? It's about 3 months back. So I look at it and I'm like, I don't know any Desert Star, who are they and why are they raising $14 million? Usually when you don't recognize the name of a company, and I'm not going to say that I'm the ultimate expert in the junior mining space for sure by a long shot. But when I see a name that I don't recognize that's raising a lot of money, I think maybe there's something to this story. Maybe they're doing something important because you don't raise $14 million to keep the lights up. You just don't. Not in this market anyway. And so I looked into it and the people are top notch. The project is top notch. The commodity that they are looking to build a mine for is also top notch. And it's already trending upwards. So it's not like uranium where you put your money and you know that you're going to be suffering for the next little while. And I like to suffer. Everybody knows that. Anyway, so the company is Cutcho Copper. And you might have heard of it, or maybe not, but I have here a little cheat sheet. And I'm going to go through a few of the strongest points as to why I think this is the most certain 10-bagger that I will have ever. Okay? I mean, a lot of stocks you buy because they're two-step stocks. A lot of stocks you buy because they're hot. They're like cobalt, crypto, whatever. This is a strong fundamental story with a ton of catalysts. So this is, I usually joke around, this company, Cutcho Copper, is the company that most resembles a real business. And that in the junior mining space is not that common. unfortunately speaking. So let's get down to it. I'm gonna just give you a brief overview of why I think this is super exciting, and then I'm gonna try to do a little bit of math with you. Okay, very simple math. I am terrible at math. So if I can do simple math and find out that there's huge value here, then anybody can. Right, so first of all, copper. Copper is starting to get hotter and hotter. Everybody knows there's the electrical vehicle revolution. If you believe in that, then you must believe in copper, because there's, I think, more than 3 times the amount of copper in EVs that are coming out today versus normal old boring diesel burning cars. So if you believe in that, you must believe in copper. But not only that, the price of copper is just picking up, right? You look at a chart, and maybe I'll bring out the chart here so you can see. This is not a commodity that is at an all-time low. This is not a commodity that's down in the dumps. This is not something that you will have to put a huge amount of money in and wait for it to bounce back. It's already trending upwards. So this is a very timely commodity to be in. If you don't have any copper plays, then please look further into Kutcho Copper, because this is very exciting. Okay, so they have the Kutcho project in northern BC, and it's a high-grade copper and zinc, wink wink, zinc is also very hot, development project. What does that mean? Yes, they're in development. They're trying to figure out how much of the good stuff they have, how rich the grade is. They're trying to improve metallurgy, and this is all approaching a decision on, can we build a mine? Is this going to be profitable? And by the looks of it, it's looking very, very favorable. Here's the reason why it caught my eye, and instantly I thought this was a no-brainer. Kutcho Copper is really a group of people who have done this before. So it's a group of people who have been in companies that have gone to the point of selling the project out to a major. For example, have you ever heard of Kaminak? Bet you have. If you haven't, look them up. Started very small, but eventually got bought out by, let me get this right, Goldcorp a couple of years back. So these people had to look for different projects because they sold their project to Goldcorp. And some of them actually went to Kutcho Copper. So these are not your, fly-by-night, your amateurs, or the typical people who just want to get paid so they continue to send their kids to private schools. These guys are doers. They're all about track record, building actual mines, or developing a project to the point of being very interesting for a major to come in and buy it. So the economics of this project is what really caught my eye, because they have a current NPV. I shouldn't say current, but listen out. An NPV 8% discount, which is what you should look for. If you ever see an NPV for any mining company that's 5% or any lower than 8%, ignore it, because mining is too risky. You should always use 8%. Of $265 million with initial capex of $221 million, which brings an IRR of 27.6. This is pretty decent, okay? So as it is, with what they have right now with the 2017 pre-feasibility study, they have a decent project. Now, what is most important about Kutcho Copper is that they have many different things going on that they're working on within the next 18 to 24 months that, if done right and if achieved properly, will make the value itself of this company just explode to the upside. So let's go through a few things, the current project that they have and what they will be looking for. They are drilling 30,000 meters within May to October of this year to expand their resources. That's one catalyst. The other thing that they're doing is they are upgrading, or they're changing the cutoff grade from 1.5% copper to 1% copper. So by changing the cutoff grade, they are going to upgrade their resources. What else is going on? Well, it turns out that the 2017 report that they have that's out has prices that are a little bit out of date, because copper has gone up significantly after they did their study. And so if you update those prices, then it turns out that your gains go from 27.6 that we see here to over 30%. So I think it's 34% or something like that. I'll show you the actual paper that actually has the detailed numbers. So you have this going on, okay? Let's try to keep track here. You have the cutoff grade that's going to add on 50% of the resources. You have exploration. So you see the targets that they have that have not been looked at since the early 90s. They're also going to increase, not increase, but improve the metallurgy. There's a whole host of things, updating the price to reflect copper's price today. That's all good, but it's kind of too vague for you to understand what that actually means to the share price. Well, I have good news for you. So today the share price is 54 cents as opposed to 60 some in the calculation that you're going to see in a few seconds. And you're going to understand why I think this is an easy 10 bagger right here, February 2018, so pretty recent. Okay, so usually forward-looking statements, blah, 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 blah. And here is a little bit of a rundown of the numbers that I have been talking about. 265.2 million NVP with a decent IRR, but this is only the starting point. Now, interesting thing, yes, they do have a deal with Wheaton Precious Metals, and the cool thing is that you will see here later, they've decided to actually do this deal also based on their precious metals. What I mean is they are a copper zinc project, and by selling their precious metals being gold and silver to Wheaton, they capitalize on the metals that aren't really their focus, right? And they get money from Wheaton Precious Metals in a way that does not actually deter them from getting great value out of the copper and zinc, which is what's most interesting about this project. Okay, management, bunch of superstars, really great people. You already know that. Share structure is also good. You see Capstone Mining that sold the project to them. Is here. Wheaton Precious Metals owns a bunch. Management and board. Always look for management and board to own a decent amount of stocks. That means they have skin in the game. And that is true to all great management teams. Okay, so this is what I just told you about. The 8% silver and gold that will actually go to Wheaton, okay? And Wheaton is very well known, and if you haven't heard of them, also look them up because it's a great company. So really quick, this is Northern BC, super safe jurisdiction. They have 100 kilometers of existing access. You have the property right here, and you have a bunch of well-known projects in the area. Okay, let's get down to business. You and I are here to make money, so let's start talking about the stuff that's actually going to make us money. Before we do that, though, just a little quick cross-section here. You have the main zone, Sumac, and Esso, okay? Now, just remember this, okay? Main, Sumac, and Esso, because I'm going to show you a map very soon of what this looks like compared to what the whole project contains. Okay, so just keep this in mind. This is the stuff that we already have. They have a very strict timeline about permitting of the area, and this is where they really shine. This management really knows how to get through the environmental and also First Nation hurdles and to actually get the community behind a project like this. This is one of their strong points for sure. Here is their timeline, and I don't know if you know anything about Ross Beaty's companies. I'm not saying this is one of them. All I'm saying is, when asked, Ross Beatty said, how do you know what a good management team is? I believe he said something along the lines of, well, they say that they're going to do something, and they do it by the date that they promise to do it. And I thought that was very interesting because it's a very simple concept, but most of us actually ignore and forgive bad management for promising things that they never actually fulfill on. So this is, 2018. This is already going on right now. We're right here.
and you can watch and see if they actually go through all these milestones, and you can judge for yourself whether management is doing a good job or not. Now, remember those zones, main, Sumac, and Esso? Okay. There is down dip expansion potential for sure. So they're going to be drilling 30,000 meters, as we know. But look at the size of their property. So the black delineates the area, and Esso, Sumac, and Main are right here. Okay, so this is looking north. We were, looking at these three from the north point, and so all of the good stuff that we have right now that we can expand upon is just these three little smudges here. This is everything. Okay, look at all the exploration drilling that these guys are looking at right here, and all the significant intercepts in red, and look at the massive sulfide horizon that they have here delineated by the red dotted line right here. Look at how much potential there is in this area, and we're only talking about the three little smudges up here. This is what you came here for. Share price catalyst is what I care about. This is what you care about. They have five potential great reasons for the stock price to appreciate significantly. I'd say that the one that's the softest would be the optimized metallurgy. This would be here. This is something they're working on right now. And this, I believe, would move the stock price the least, because exploration is going to be done as well. Resource expansion is going to be done. They're going to update their resources and reserves, and also they're going to optimize throughput, which is linked to this, and they're also going to complete the feasibility study. Now, here is the mother of all slides, okay? And let me tell you why this is so exciting to me. Now, bear in mind that I'm giving this to you at a very, very great time, because this is all based on the price that Kutcho Copper had. The price has since come down from these levels. Okay, so we're sitting today at 54 cents as I speak, and this, I believe, was done at 65-cent share price. That gives you a 17% discount. Okay, so this number is going to be even greater. So the first comparison is Kutcho Copper is already at, if it were at 65 cents a share, at a 0.2 times its NAV. Okay, so NAV per share, they should be at an average of 0.5. As you can see here, if you compare them to other projects, then the average is 0.5. Well, it turns out that they're not there by any means. They are right now, if you update this number here to today's share price, they're sitting at, I think, 0.14. Okay, 0.14 to 0.5 is more than a triple. So if the share price today tripled, or just slightly over that, tripled, then all it would do is it would catch up to the companies that have been around for longer that people are more aware of. Okay, so just keep that in your head. So that could triple. Now, the other thing is that the resources that they have right now and the numbers that they have right now for the NPV are all based on older prices for the metals. If we simply took that and updated it to today's prices of the metals, which is what this line here, you have an NPV of 368 million instead of the said 265 million. Your IRR shoots up to 34%, and so the NAV per share is at 390, which means if we caught up to half of NAV per share and we updated this to today's prices, it would be 195 per share. But it doesn't stop here, because what they're doing to the numbers now with the changes in the cutoff grade and everything is they are looking to double the project size. So if they're looking to double, and if they actually achieve this, then my question is, how much will the NAV per share be then? It will definitely be above the 390 that we just mentioned. But also, what will that do to the implied share price if it rises up to meet its peers? Well, I think we're talking about something quite a bit higher than $2. I'm not even factoring in sentiment. I'm not factoring in the fact that copper prices are probably going to go up from here. And I'm not even factoring in the fact that they are going to explore this property. That huge property that I showed you up here is going to be explored. Remember, this hasn't been really touched for a good 30 or so years. And we're already looking at a catch-up price of multiples of where we are sitting at 54 cents. So you tell me if this isn't the most logical 10-bagger that you've ever seen in the current market here for copper, and remember, for a management team that has done the stuff that these guys have done with all this potential in a really, really safe jurisdiction. You tell me what project is better than this in copper with great management in Canada, in British Columbia, or anything similar to it, then please let me know. I cannot find a project that's anything like this. I'm looking at something here that is potentially a mine within the next years. At least that's what they're aiming for. So this is my little spiel here about Kucho Copper. It's a company that I really, really like. And so far management has fulfilled on its promises. Will it continue to do so? Well, I would recommend you to actually go to their website. They actually have a few videos on their project and everything, so there's a ton of information here. If your questions are not answered, do email management. They're great at responding to email. And also go and join me on CEO.ca, where we can talk about Kucho Copper, symbol KC. And if you find out anything specific about this company, then let me know. I'm always hanging out here. Let's talk about it. And if you feel that this is a good investment, then hey, if you believe in copper, this could be it. This is my bet. Thank you very much. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.